Hi, my name is Sam Johnson and I am a voice teacher. To learn more about me or to sign up for lessons, go to my website, vocalease.net. I'm going to be reacting to Dimash singing SOS. So confident.
我觉得有点像林志炫啊。
You can tell he knows he's about to just do something cool. Nice French R. That R is kind of hard. In classical music, usually they flip it. They go pourquoi versus pourquoi in classical music, but he's singing current music. That little R is interesting. It raises your tongue in the back, and then it just kind of buzzes with your hard palate. Ooh. Cool, so he starts at the bottom. It's a really big sound, but then as he starts going up, da, 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 it gets lighter every single time because he's preparing for his bridge. But he doesn't start the lightness at the bridge, he starts it well before. It's just that first one he started in complete chest voice so that he would feel his vocal cords together and be able to carry that sensation up. He's a countertenor. I really respect those staccato parts up at the top of his voice. Versus being able to control his airflow so that it stays consistent while breaking it up like that in the middle is really hard because our tendency is on onsets and offset for the breath flow to change, for it to either be more breath or less breath. He's starting with a very controlled, very small amount of air. He made that vowel kind of like a classical female singer, where it's a little bit further back sounding. It's very round, and it's tuning to the fundamental harmonic. I'm pretty sure, based on how that sounds. It's not tuning to the second harmonic or third like you might in a mix. And because of that, it doesn't have a ton of energy up in the top part of the spectrum. It just sounds a little bit hollow through it. It's a great strategy. I mean, there's a reason why people do it, and it produced that kind of rounder sound. And then he goes back to more of a mix where it's more forward. There's a lot more chord closure with it. And that's why it doesn't sound as breathy as the one before. He's going back and forth between this gentle, beautiful, small, low volume, kind of rounder classical voice, where it's very round and very small, to a really whiny, forward, intense, He's going back and forth, but he has control of those shades in between. He doesn't have to be at one extreme or the other. He's moving between them to get to the extremes, and that's very skilled. I love that sound. Usually if it starts falling back, if the sound falls back, it's on a more open vowel like ah or o. Generally, it falling back means his tongue is pulling back. It's a way to suppress the larynx. So if you find your larynx, with girls it's kind of harder. With guys, we get a big bump. But if you find this hard cartilage area in here and swallow, it comes all the way up. If you kind of pull your tongue back or go like this, your larynx drops, and that's how you make a kind of hootier sound. What he's doing is for an effect. He wants that sound from this. He is way too good to be doing this on accident. I Up to the E? But he slid up to it. That's why it worked for him. So he slid up to it. He didn't try to just attack that high E. He started like a seventh below and then slid up to it. That allowed his vocal cords to stretch out. Even though it was very quick, they were able to stretch out and still find a balanced place. He also didn't crescendo as he went up. One thing that's kind of crazy is an octave above something, I think, doubles the amount of sound that's perceived by the listener. So because he moved from down there where it was a little bit lower, it's insane saying that an E4 is a low note or an E5 is a low note, but then he jumps up, the perceived volume is going to also jump up by 100%. And so he compensates for that by pulling back on volume. It's kind of like he's decrescendoing on the way up, which along with the glide helps make that a very easy, very smooth, very beautiful note on the top. Still a round sound, it's robust. I kind of like thinking of it like a tweeter and a woofer. If you only have tweeter, the sound's going to be kind of brittle. If you only have a woofer, it's going to be really woofy and you're not going to be able to hear any of the high overtones with it. He's not neglecting either of them. He's letting both of them have a say in this, and it's a nice sound. It does sound more classical because he has a little bit more of the sound to it. Good, so on the word ho, you can see how wide he's going. It's gonna be very difficult to get a pure O up at a D in mixed voice like that. In like a really strong mixed voice, if you're leaning into it as much as he is right now, it's gonna just be super hard for it to be that round. So he opens it up, and it's high enough that he has to. That's the only way that he can produce that tone. Interesting on that last one, ooh, and then he leans into it. On that last one, enfant is usually nasalized, and I like nasal sounds because it helps me find more chord closure usually, a little bit more balanced than chord closure. On that last one, he didn't want chord closure. He was singing so breathy for effect that if he went to the that would pop out of the texture. So he doesn't nasalize that vowel. He just, and by doing that, it can keep a consistent tone until he wants to lean into the chord closure, which he does at the end with his crescendo from He crescendoed in volume, and he also crescendoed in amount of chord closure intensity. Yeah, that guy's a rock star. Dimash is awesome. He has complete control over his voice. There are very few things you can say that he's doing wrong because they all sound intentional, and all of them are pretty healthy. You can't sing the way that he's doing if it's unhealthy. Like these extremes of the voice, the really, really high notes, and going that small with volume and then back to that loud of volume, and using all of the shades in between. You can't do that if you're singing something poorly. He's proof he's not really doing much that's super inefficient, because it's consistent. You never are questioning whether he's going to hit a note. It's just there. He just does it. And because of that, as an audience member, we can just watch him and not be concerned with if he's gonna sing something right. We can just be like, oh my gosh, he's so good. What's going on? And what's he saying? And I'm so invested in the story. And now you're telling me this story because he's a good storyteller. And all of that stuff, the most important part of singing, the storytelling, is what we can focus on rather than having to focus on technique like I did in this video. I mean, for this video series, I am just breaking down technique, but it's because of the technique that he can do whatever he wants, and people are just in the palm of his hand all the way through it. He can make people care greatly about story rather than technique, and I think that's a win. Thanks for watching. Please smash that subscribe button, like it, leave a comment in the bottom. I can't believe I just said smash that subscribe button, but yeah, I really appreciate it. Tell me something else you want to learn more about.